Okay, so get ready. Because today we're really diving deep into healthy fats and how they play into losing weight, which I know is something a lot of you are interested in. We got so many questions from you all on this one, tons of articles and research, even a whole podcast episode. And you know what? It sounds like you're ready to set the record straight.
It is wild how long we were all told to eat low-fat
Ah,
everything.
silly.
I mean, for decades, it was all about low-fat this and fat-free that. Remember in the 90s, all those snack cakes that were like fat-free, like they were supposed to be guilt-free or something?
Oh my gosh, yes. All those promises of fat-free indulgence. And were those things ever actually good? I don't think so.
Right. And you know, it's funny, they would load those fat-free things up with sugar and processed carbs to make them actually taste like something.
Yeah.
So we thought we were doing the right thing, but it actually kind of backfired.
It's like we were so busy avoiding fat that we totally missed the things that were actually making it harder to lose weight, right?
Exactly. It's not the fat that's the problem most of the time. It's what we replace it with, like with those refined carbs. They mess with your blood sugar so badly.
Yeah, explain that.
Okay, so
Yeah.
you eat something like a donut, right? And your blood sugar spikes way up. So you get
Mm.
that little burst of energy, but then, bam, you crash. And then what?
You're starving again. Right. So you eat more sugary stuff. It's a vicious cycle.
Exactly. You crave more sugary junk, and the cycle just keeps going. And the worst part is, all those refined carbs can actually make you feel even hungrier.
I noticed in the notes you sent me that you mentioned a study about high glycemic index foods, which are basically all those refined carbs, and they found a strong link with those foods, making people feel more hungry and have more cravings.
Totally. And that study really highlights how important it is to pay attention to the types of carbs we're eating, not just the amount. They can really mess with your body's natural hunger cues, but that's where the good stuff comes in. Healthy fats.
Okay, so tell me why healthy fats are the heroes of our story here. Why should we be eating them?
So we're talking about monounsaturated and polyunsaturated fats, the superstars you find in things like olive oil, avocados, nuts, seeds, and fatty fish like salmon.
Those actually sound delicious. I don't see the problem. But seriously, how do those fats actually help with weight loss?
Think about it this way. Unlike refined carbs, those healthy fats digest really slowly. They stick with you, so you feel fuller for much longer after you eat them.
So no more blood sugar roller coaster.
You got it. You feel more satisfied after your meals, and that leads to eating less overall.
Okay, I like where this is going.
And there's more. There are these fascinating hormones involved in regulating your appetite, like PYY and CCK.
Hormones always sound complicated, but I'm ready to learn. What do they do?
So basically, your body releases these hormones, PYY and CCK, when you eat, especially when you eat protein and fat. And these hormones, they send signals to your brain saying, hey, we're good down here. No need to eat more.
So, by making healthy fats part of our diet, we're basically telling our bodies to feel full and satisfied, which means we're less likely to overeat. So, it's not about willpower, it's like working with our bodies instead of against them.
Exactly. And believe it or not, there's even more to the story. It's amazing how much healthy fats can actually do to help us reach our weight loss goals.
Right.
I mean, we already talked about how they help us feel full, but they also do so much more, like regulating our metabolism and even balancing out those important hormones.
See, now that's what I'm talking about, the metabolism and hormone stuff. Tell me more about that because I'm really curious.
You bet. Okay, so remember how we were saying those refined carbs take you on a blood sugar roller coaster?
Oh, yeah, those carbs are sneaky.
Well, healthy fats, they can actually help keep your blood sugar stable so you don't get those crazy spikes and crashes. That means fewer cravings, steadier energy, and just better control over what you're eating all day long.
Makes total sense. Instead of a wild ride, it's like healthy fats keep your blood sugar on track.
Exactly. And this is where things get super interesting. We got to talk about hormones, those messengers controlling so much of what goes on in our bodies.
Okay, lay some hormone knowledge on me. I'm all ears.
One important one is called leptin. They call it the satiety hormone. I
Yeah.
talked about it a little before, but leptin's job is to tell your brain when it's time to stop eating, helps keep you from overeating.
Right. And we know those signals can get messed up when we don't give our bodies the nutrients they need.
Exactly. But it gets even more fascinating. There's another hormone called ghrelin. They call this one the hunger hormone, and it basically does the opposite of leptin. It's like that little voice that says, go eat something.
A hunger hormone. Wow, that's really interesting. So how do healthy fats play into all of this with leptin and ghrelin?
Such a good question. Studies actually show that when you eat a lot of healthy fats, it can help regulate both of those hormones, the leptin and the ghrelin. So what does that mean? Basically, your body becomes much better at recognizing when you're truly hungry and when you're actually full, so you avoid those intense cravings and overeating moments.
It's all coming together now. I'm starting to see the big picture. It's not about restricting ourselves. It's more about understanding how to work with our bodies, not against them. And it sounds like healthy fats are a huge part of that.
Absolutely. You hit the nail on the head. At the beginning, you mentioned an article about a holistic approach to weight loss. And this is a perfect example of that, right? It's not just about calories in and calories out. It's about actually nourishing your body with what it needs to thrive.
Now you're speaking my language. Making those changes that last, the ones that are good for us in the long run, not just about seeing a certain number on the scale.
That's it. That's why we've got to stop being afraid of fat and start embracing the right kinds of fat.
I'm with you on that. Okay, so how do we start adding those beneficial fats into our lives in a way that we'll actually enjoy, in a way we can stick with?
Yeah, let's get practical. Give me those tips, because it's one thing to know about it. It's another thing to actually do it, right?
For sure. And the great thing is, adding these healthy fats is actually pretty easy and really enjoyable. One simple change you can make is with your cooking oils.
Right, those processed oils need to go. So what should I be using instead?
Olive oil and avocado oil are both excellent choices. Super versatile, and they're loaded with those monounsaturated fats we talked about, the heart-healthy kind. You can use them for practically anything, sautéing, baking, even just drizzling over a salad.
It's like that recipe you're talking about before, the roasted vegetables, right?
Yeah.
With the olive oil and sea salt. So simple, but so good.
Exactly. It's about letting those natural flavors shine through. And speaking of simple and delicious, we can't forget about snacks. Okay, yes, snacks are important. I'm always looking for something healthy that will actually satisfy me, not just those processed things that leave me feeling blah.
That's where nuts and seeds come in.
Yeah.
Almonds, walnuts, cashews, pumpkin seeds, sunflower seeds. Seriously, the possibilities are endless. They're full of those healthy fats, plus fiber and protein, which will keep you going between meals.
Nuts and seeds are my go-to now. I love that I can just throw them in my bag for work. So much better than those other snacks that leave me feeling sluggish.
You've got it. And you know what else? Avocados.
Are you kidding? I love avocados. They're like a staple in my house. I put them on everything, salads, sandwiches, smoothies. That creamy texture, those healthy fats. So good.
See, you get it. Avocados are awesome. So versatile and nutritious. You've got those satisfying fats, fiber, potassium, vitamins. They've got it all.
We can't forget about fatty fish either, all those omega-3s.
No.
Brain health, heart health, even those hunger hormones we talked about, they're good for everything.
For sure. Try to eat fatty fish at least 2 times a week. Salmon, mackerel, sardines, trout. There's so many to choose from. And I know sometimes it's hard to find the time to cook, so a good quality fish oil supplement is a great option too.
I actually started taking a fish oil supplement, and I've noticed a real difference in my energy and how focused I feel. It's nice to not have to cook fish all the time, too.
It really is about finding what works best for you, what you can stick with. And the good news is, even small changes, if you do them consistently, can really add up in the long run. You don't have to change everything all at once, just take it one step at a time. It's a journey.
I love that. It's about finding what works for you, what you can sustain. Okay, so as we wrap up this deep dive, is there one final thought you want to leave our listeners with? Something for them to think about as they start incorporating these healthy fats?
Well, today we really covered a lot of ground, didn't we? We talked about the science behind healthy fats, how they work in our bodies, even some really practical tips for adding them into our everyday lives. But if there's one thing I want everyone listening to remember, it's this. When it comes to nutrition, knowledge is key. The more we understand about how different foods affect us, the better choices we can make for our health and well-being.
So well said. I've had a great time diving into this topic with you today, busting some myths about those healthy fats.
It's been a pleasure being here.
And to our awesome listeners, please keep those questions coming. We'll be back next time with a deep dive into a brand new topic. Until then, we'll catch you later.